Hello and welcome to the Berkcast, the How to Train a Dragon podcast. I'm your host, HC, and with me are...
Rush 2112.
And Wolf.
And today we are talking about something that people probably thought we'll talk about sooner, but for not only we weren't necessarily sure about this, but we weren't necessarily sure we wanted to talk about it, but hey, stuff happened, we're talking about it now. So it was around 2 weeks ago, right?
I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't keep up with things.
Okay,
I
but
don't.
around
I don't co-host a How to Train Your Dragon podcast that should know all the different news about How to Train Your Dragon. Nope,
thank
not
you
at
for
all.
thank you for admitting to your mistakes, Wolf. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
I am
but
very humble.
yeah. Anyway, but around 2 weeks ago, there was I think you can call it a convention called TIFF. And what happened in TIFF is that Din Dabla and one of the producers and Jay Baruchel were all there premiering new How to Train Dragon the Hidden World footage. And we went back and forth, should we talk about it, should we not talk about it? Because at the end of the day, we don't really want to spoil the movie to ourselves when it premieres in February. It has officially been moved to February 22nd, in my case 21st, but whatever, time zones or whatever. And now, we don't really want to spoil everything for ourselves, but we're we are a podcast about How to Train a Dragon, so maybe we should do it, maybe we shouldn't do it. But then I figured something. What if we can combine the two and actually talk about what we think about this entire potential spoilers being shown off before the movie releases? And just to let you guys know, we will probably talk about some of the stuff shown at TIFF, through descriptions and everything, because we're fortunate enough to. But we will talk about it if you want to avoid spoilers. Now, you'll say know when to head out and stop listening if you don't want spoilers. So
Okay.
basically,
Just to reiterate that, since HC's mic was breaking up, if you don't want to be spoiled about what happened at TIFF, leave now.
No, not now. Not now, but a bit later. We'll let you know. So I think before we begin, how much did you try and avoid what was shown at TIFF, if you were trying to avoid it at all?
I mean, I didn't really go out of my way to avoid it. If I saw, again, we do the Berkcast, so I think at this point now I feel like I probably need to see this stuff or should see it anyways.
It's an occupational hazard.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Reference.
Something I actually didn't think about it. I only used it after I said it, but sure, reference. Let's go with it.
But I've until we did this, I actually haven't seen that much of it, just because we weren't sure we were going to talk about any of it. So I didn't really go out of my way to see it until this episode of the Berkcast. Okay,
so you weren't necessarily trying to avoid it, but you also didn't really know what was shown in those clips up until now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, you have kind of better luck than I do, or maybe it's just Murphy's Law, because my thing was that I said, you know what, yeah, we do the Berkcast, we probably should talk about it, but at the same time, I also want to enjoy the movie. And I did do the math. I'm not sure about this, because at Tennessee, there were 4 clips, right?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, there were.
I did re-listen to the episode about TIFF before we started recording. So I think there were around 4 scenes there, and there were give or take 4 scenes here at TIFF, and with one of them being shown at Tennessee as well. So in quick calculation, that's around 5 scenes, 5 or 6 scenes. No, actually, wait. 4 and 3, that's 7. I can't math, obviously. But that's 7 scenes. In perspective, each one, like How to Train Your Dragon 1 and 2, have somewhere between 25 to 30 something scenes each.
Mhm.
So on the one hand, it's not necessarily something that I saw as I need to avoid in order to not spoil the movie for me. But at the same time, I say to myself, the more I see of the movie, the more I can kind of link the pieces together, and I don't want that. I don't want to like try and speculate something based on scenes I know are going to be in the movie, and then look at that, I was actually right. So I try to avoid it. Guess what happened less than 24 hours after I made that decision?
You avoided it and didn't see anything.
Nope. I went on Tumblr, the Berkcast Tumblr, and then I saw a post detailing all of it with no warning. Yeah, I know people tag How to Train Your Dragon the Hidden World spoilers and stuff, but put it also in the title so that I don't start reading the post and then I see, well.
See, there's your problem, HC, because your first mistake was, a crime of stupidity. Going on the internet when trying to avoid spoilers.
Well, I need to see notes. I need to see what friends are up to. You can't shut me down from society.
That's if you want to avoid spoilers about something that is popular, especially within your circle on the internet, you don't go on the internet. You just don't. That's how it works. You just avoid it. It's complete shutdown, or you will get spoiled. End of story. That is how it works.
Or the people who spoiled that could have put, titles
No.
or something.
Why should they respect you? You're not worth their time.
Wolf, it's not about me. It's about everyone.
But I mean, again, that's the point a lot of people don't think, though.
Yeah, I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean.
I'm only joking. But...
And again, to credit these people, they did tag How to Train Your Dragon 3 spoilers, but the problem is I don't see the tags until I'm at the end of the post, and these posts are long.
Block tags on Tumblr, but since we use the
Berkcast
team Tumblr, we don't exactly have spoiler tags blocked.
Until a bit recently, for some reasons, but yeah, pretty much. Okay, but this was my take on the idea, and we'll probably hear Rush's take on it soon because when
he's
he comes
dealing
back.
with family, so he'll be back in a bit.
That's
why he's been so quiet. Well, I mean, he's been quiet. People are going to wonder, like, what happened to Rush? He introduced himself, then all of a sudden just disappeared.
Ninja. Okay. So basically, let's see. So the next thing is so we had full scenes from the movie shown to an audience and described to the general public and everything. So spoilers or no spoilers, do you think it's too much at this point in time? Because the movie is less than half a year away. Like I think 4 months and it's out. So do you think showing so much from it at this point in time is a good thing or a bad thing?
Personally, no.
No what?
No, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Okay. Care to elaborate?
Nope, that's all you're getting.
Oh, okay. So it's one of those. What do you think? Should we do this? Nope. There you go. That, by the way, behind the scenes stuff. That's Wolf every week. Do you think we should do this for the next episode?
He's really, he's really our fence sitter on the team.
Being serious, the reason I don't say it's too much at this point because really what they've shown isn't anything like major. It's not, hey, I'm your mom, levels of wow,
true.
okay, well there's that twist gone. That's
Grimmel, I am your father.
No. Just no.
So we're doing time travel now because Grimmel is Hiccup's son from the future.
Come
back to the past.
The hidden world is just a it's just a DeLorean, a very large DeLorean.
Yeah.
Ah, if you travel through it, if you
88
travel
drugs.
through all of the caves fast enough, you'll eventually get to the past when you come back out of the
I
caldera.
mean, you saw the Light Fury disappearing, right? So
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. The Light Fury is a DeLorean confirmed.
it hit 88 miles per hour,
Hmm.
and it even left a fireball behind it. Like you can't tell me I'm wrong.
No,
Mm, no, you're not wrong. But
well, based on the spoilers, we can, yes, but
Anyway,
so if Wolf, are you done with your point? Or
yeah,
do you
I
have-
don't think they've shown like anything major that I would say, all right, this is too much. Like you shouldn't have shown this, right? Like the spoiler with Volca, I would say like that. If that could have been avoided, I'm curious as to how that scene would have come off to me differently. Like would it have been more amazing or more shocking or what have you if I would have never seen that spoiler? But that one was a hard one to miss because that was pretty much plastered all over any kind of promotional information they did, so
yeah, but
on that.
and that one, I mean, like, I want to agree with you, but I also want to disagree with you because I feel like they did that because they had changed the script so much about her
It's
being
fair.
villain, and then they just kind of they didn't. know
But
what
we
to do
didn't
with
really
it.
know that she was
Yeah,
going to be the villain
that's
at that
true.
time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like there were rumors, but there was nothing that was really confirmed in any major way. So
Also, keep in mind that if we were talking about the Volca thing now, keep in mind when they started animating the movie, which led to this footage being shown in the trailer, the script was already rewritten.
mhm.
Mhm.
So, although there is this small B-roll, I guess you could say, of a fully animated Hiccup actually talking about, which sounds like it was from an earlier draft of, when Volker was a villain. But hey, we don't know exactly when this was happening. Also, the basic point is if the script doesn't really have anything to do with spoilers necessarily, but.
Mhm.
But anyway, Rush, you just joined us. So first of all, let me take you a bit backwards in the script. Did you try to avoid what was shown at TIFF?
Um, not. I didn't try to. I just happened to not really see what was going on. Like, I was pretty busy when it all
Hey,
happened.
join the club.
So yeah, like I just took them as they came. I didn't actively seek them out, but I didn't actively avoid them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and do you think everything that was shown at this point in time is too much, considering the movie is so close and everything?
So on the same page as Wolf, I don't think they showed anything too spoilery, but in the literal term, I feel like they've shown too much. They've shown a lot of stuff, and so much like in the point of where, and it's not just like, oh, we're showing you, things that don't matter necessarily. I mean, they may not. It could just be side stuff, but they've shown a lot of different things, so you can probably piece together a majority of the movie, or at least different scenes, from what you've seen in in all of the stuff. Not even just TIFF, because up to that point, there was a little bit released at
To
that
be
point.
fair, we've only really gotten one trailer that's like what, about a minute and a half or so long, maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah, but how much?
Yeah.
What was the? It was Annecy
Everything
as
else.
well.
Yeah, but we've not
Gave
seen
a lot.
anything from it. We've only just seen pictures that artists have redrawn from what
And
they remember, or
although
what
Wolf,
people,
from
or people talking about it.
Wolf, you do need to take into account that what was shown at NSC for the most part was the scenes from that trailer pretty much in full, or
Yeah.
at least an extended version of those scenes. So you have the trailer and you have that information, and then you have all of this other stuff, and we are supposedly getting a new trailer really soon.
Really
I've heard
soon.
I've heard rumors that it might even be tomorrow. So
My point is, though, right, that we haven't seen all of that. We've only like heard it or just seen still images.
Yeah,
And
but at the same time, you read a spoiler in a YouTube comment, it's a spoiler nonetheless.
my
It's
point is though, again, let me finish.
okay.
My point is that it's an animated movie. I personally feel that even if someone describes it to you, going in to watch it isn't the same as having someone describe what's happening to you or what
Oh, sure.
they, saw, because you're definitely going to get a different experience from them. It's going to be mostly the same, but the way you'll perceive it, the way you'll see it is going to be different from how they would.
Now, Wolf,
So I feel like it's not necessarily a spoiler, but that might just be me.
I see your point, but I was going off just what the question was. It wasn't to us. It was just, do you think the full scene shown
fair.
to an audience? Now, I
Fair.
was actually about to say that as well. I said, from my standpoint, I haven't seen anything but the trailer. I've only seen what people have told me. So it's not too much for me because I haven't seen anything other than the trailer. So it's like you basically took what I was gonna, or you just said what I was going to say. So yeah, I
Beat you
completely
to
agree.
it. You steal the jokes. I steal the actual comments that we make on different things.
Yeah, I steal the easy stuff. Wolf steals the philosophical stuff.
So now move aside as I share with you what I think of this matter. And okay, so basically the way I see it, one, you guys do have a point that considering NSC and TIFF, that it's all written at least to us because we don't have the money to actually go there. So when it's written, yeah, then you can read about something, and then when you see it being animated in battle life, it could be an experience of its own. Yes, but at the same time, imagine how much less impactful this is all going to be when you see something being animated and animated beautifully. I'm willing to bet, based on what we saw and know from these guys. But if you just see it animated, but you know what's going to happen, the impact immediately decreases. And again, we know like what's happening in 8 of these scenes. We have one trailer, we have another one coming out soon-ish, and we pretty okay. I'm not necessarily sure about this one, but we pretty much know how this movie is going to end as well. We pretty much know the end game.
That was, you
So
have to say, yeah, just as a quick aside, you have to kind of give that one to the fact that Dean has said that even before, like, the stuff started coming out of the movie. He said that's how he wanted to end it.
yeah, but still, the fact that you know how the director want to end it and how this movie is going to end, potentially, because I think they've talked about it even before How to Train Your Dragon 2 came out. So unless there's some sort of brilliant marketing strategy I'm missing and they're going to surprise us all at the end, we have enough dots to connect, not enough to say, okay, the movie starts like this, goes there, da 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 da. This is how it ends. Not to that extent, but I feel like I have enough to the point that if I'll just be bored one day and I'll overthink it, which I sometimes do with a lot of things, I'll just have the entire plot of the movie in my head. And granted, How to Train Your Dragon is not one of those franchises that really surprises you in terms of the overall plot. It's in the small things like Hiccup losing his leg or Tooth's been brainwashed to kill Stuik. Stuff like this, yeah, you're not expecting it, but it's the stuff like this that you don't expect. So, and we'll get to this once we go over the clips. I read something that I would have preferred to see on my own for the first time in the theater. And I'm kind of like, I'm not sure how to feel now that I know it's going to happen beforehand. But we'll get to this in a bit. But what would you say would count as spoiler to you? Like, what would they have to show in a convention like this so that you will say spoiler?
Well, I just said earlier that it would be, revealing that Valka is Hiccup's mom was kind of this was too much for me point. So I guess anything that kind of gives away kind of a major twist too easily.
Mhm.
I would say is too much.
Yeah, I agree. You know,
But
the way I took obviously that too much quote was I took it both ways. You can have something that's too big of a reveal or too necessary to the plot, or just revealing pretty much the whole story. If say the next trailer is like a
Your
huge.
mic's making that noise again, HC. A lot.
seriously, I'm not
Yes.
doing anything.
Are you moving?
Are you breathing?
No, no.
Are you
Like,
breathing? Stop breathing, HC. Just don't do anything. You're a statue now.
no, I'm literally not moving.
I have no clue though. I can just tell you that it's making the noise though.
Mm-hmm.
Although
If you
I doubt that it's actually getting that, but somebody just opened the door.
That's
Maybe it's
not
that.
it. No,
No, it can't be it.
Otherwise, they're
Not the
opening
way
their
it sounds.
door like 40 times in 1 minute.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Nothing is heard now, right?
When you're talking, it's fine. It's when you're not talking that's when it starts.
And like the second we
that's
call
why
it
we
out
say we think
too,
you're moving.
the second we call
No.
you out too, it stops.
Okay. I swear I'm not moving anything. Like outside of my lips to talk, I'm a statue.
Like, I don't know how it'll sound to viewers. I don't know what they would say about it, but to me, sitting here, it sounds like you're just sitting there ripping paper,
Yeah,
ripping
well,
paper.
it also sounds like
ripping
he's brushing. He has a like let's say a headset mic with a little like fuzzy thing covering it, and he's just gently brushing across it. I
Yeah,
know
it
that
sounds like
because
that
I
too.
used to have that kind of mic, and when I brush across it, it sounds exactly like that. There it goes again, and it's Wolf. It'll sound exactly like that to
Yep.
you
Hold
because
on.
I hear it too. And
Hold on a second.
I'm recording, and I record everything I hear.
Hold on a second.
Hold on a second. Let him turn off that paper ripping machine in the background.
Okay, you're on to the secret. I'm killing people. Nah, not really. But
Oh, Jesus Christ. We need to go down that road. But
I
we're
mean, as
certainly
long
there
as it's
now.
not like innocent people and just other Sonic fans who are really terrible, then fine. We're
Or
not
people who
losing
spoil
much.
the third movie.
yeah. Yeah, spoiler alert to the Berkcast movie coming to theaters in 2020. And man, Wolf, you steal my usual joke. So you're not on. So Rush is not the only guilty one regarding this. Anyway,
If we
we
don't show up
went
to
way
next
up.
week's episode, you know what happened.
Well, okay. We went way off topic.
I know. I was saying. So talked about how yes, if it's something major to a major plot point that they give away, and not something that's quite obvious, because you kind of a major plot point. Hey, a light fury. That's like the general premise of the whole movie. So that's not. I wouldn't say that's a spoiler as much. It's kind of necessity. But then also in certain movie trailers, you just know where it's going. So like that one, I'd say is too much in the sense of it gives you too much information as to what's going on. Whether or not it reveals a plot point, true, but it's still sometimes too much in that sense.
Like for example, without giving too much away to that film, I just saw Venom yesterday, and one of the lines Venom has in the trailer is said like in the last minute of the film. And actually one of the scenes shown in the trailer is the end of the film. So great job there, guys. Great job. So I don't necessarily think it's something like this from what we've heard so far. But again, there's this one detail. I'll get to it soon when we'll get to the spoiler stuff and we talk about the scenes. And again, there's not like, it's not like they say something that's like, let's say, if what I'm saying right now is complete bullshit for the hell of it. It's nothing of this is confirmed, people, just so you know. Like, let's say they all of a sudden said that Valka and Dreamer are going to have a romance. Or, I don't know, throw something that you won't see coming here. I don't have anything else right now. But unless it's not that they say something like this, which could which will cause me to go, whoa, okay, didn't see that one coming. Should have, but it still kind of sucks that I need to know one specific detail now, and won't have the impact of it in the film. So, anything else on this subject, or can we move on to the scenes?
I'm gonna derail us for a quick sec and ask a question to the two of you as well as our listeners at home. Looking at, at least looking at movies in general, whether it's live action or animated, like How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World is, would you personally, I'm to the point now, like where trailers, if they have to show, they have to show something from the movie at some point, no matter what it is, and you're going to get spoiled on that. Would it not be more interesting maybe to just do something entirely original for your trailers? Because the entire point of the trailers is just to show off, like with its animation, it's to show off how it looks, the look of the movie, and to give you a small idea of what you might be getting into emotionally, right?
Well,
If it's live action, it's okay.
You pretty much described a lot of the Pixar trailers. Not as of now. Not as of now, they don't do this much now, I think, as before, but Pixar used to do this. Like, the teaser trailer will be completely original, and then, yeah, the other two trailers will show clips from the film, but
well, no, but like what I mean though is like what Pixar used to do, except that's all you get is like one, maybe two original things that give you, this is what the movie's going to look like, this is what you might expect from the movie emotionally, but these scenes are completely original to the trailers. You get nothing in the movie from the movie. So when you go into the movie, you know what the movie's going to look like. You kind of know what you're getting into as far as like, am I getting into a sad story? Am I getting into a more happy story? Something like that, right? Like, what am I getting into story wise? And that's it. Like, that's what, you kind of have an idea of, and that's what you go into with no knowledge of actually what's there.
Yeah, but at the
Unless
same
something
time,
leaked.
you need to understand though that at the same time, when you are doing something like this, you could potentially, when you create entire footage from the trailer and you don't have to rely on what you made for the film, then you for all intents and purposes are making something completely different. So let's say, and people have what, to bring up Pixar again, because I heard that complaint about some of their movies, that the trailer advertises something that the movie ended up not being, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like the advertisement was something completely different than what the actual film was. So imagine if they release a teaser, they're getting some feedback for it, and then the feedback is not and then the next trailer they do, which is again completely original, has nothing to do with the film. So that could potentially also fool the audience into going into something they don't want, and at the end of the day, everybody loses from it. And
that's fair.
The real How to Train Your Dragon 3 is just Hiccup eating cereal for 93 minutes.
You joke, but there's some people I'm sure would watch that.
I would watch it. I want to see what's
for 93 minutes.
Yeah, I would watch it because I want to see. I want to see what's.
I'm not that patient.
I'll tell you this much. I would watch Hiccup eating cereals for 93 minutes, because if he goes cereals, I want to see what cereals there were at Viking times. Simple as that.
I'll take the Cliff Notes version of that particular movie.
Cereal. Well, that was easy.
Well, but you need to discover what.
Okay, I'm good now. I know. I don't need to see anymore.
But did he hit? But you need to see the movie in order to know if he eats them with chocolate milk or just regular milk. It's in the details, man. It's in the details.
Hiccup would use regular milk. He's just that vanilla.
Speaking of which, I think he drinks coffee in the morning or something else.
Joke.
I did. Compared to the jokes that some of you have made, I deserve at least one bad joke on this show.
I know,
That's
but
my bad joke.
it was by my standards good.
We set a very low bar here on
Oh
the
yeah.
Berkcast.
Yeah.
ladies and
But I
gentlemen.
just that's like there was a second where I'm like, he said that on purpose. He had to have said that on purpose, and so I just went out on a limb and said I can't believe this.
Notices that no one brings up my bad jokes and tries to continue on with the episode.
Well, because
Anyway,
it's so normal for you.
yeah. Yep, it's
But-
on the hour every hour, as they say.
But like, I was just trying to get at the idea, like, do you think that would be better in terms of like being less spoilery and like it would be more interesting? But at the same time, you brought up a good point that what if it ends up being not necessarily false advertising, but ends up like delivering people into
Misleading.
misleading. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. And that's a good point. Like if it was misleading, that would definitely hurt the movie as well as people's expectations and everything. So it's an interesting thought, but kind of immediately killed by the idea of it being potentially misleading.
Mm-hmm.
So with that said, shall we move on to the scenes? Okay, so we are going to talk about what was being shown at TIFF from from what's being described on several websites and some people who were there. So if you don't want to know anything, this is your chance to close the episode and come back after the movie comes out, I guess. So spoilers in 3, 2, 1.
That was really quick. Barely gave them a second to leave.
What are you talking about? It's okay. Okay. You know what? This mini discussion just gave them a few seconds to close the video. But anyway, spoilers starting now. Anyway, first scene, which to be honest, I kind of figured it was going to be there. A flashback of Stuek telling young Hiccup about the hidden. You know what? When you heard about this thing, were you expecting something like this to happen? I did.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, Gerard Butler was one of the first confirmed voices of the Hidden World, actually.
Yeah.
Which is like
because I think because again when confirmed the 2, they also confirmed the Hidden World, and so they probably just signed them on before they know they were going to axe to it.
I guess it'd be better to ask if you didn't know that Gerard Butler had been confirmed for the 3rd movie already. Would you have thought they would have had a flashback scene with Stoic and Hiccup in the 3rd movie?
In my opinion, yes.
Yeah. I'm kind of in the same boat. I feel like I would have thought, I would expect some flashback scenes potentially, considering we didn't get any in the 2nd movie and he died in the 2nd movie. It would make some sense to see some sort of potential flashback in the 3rd movie.
Also, you need to realize something that, this entire trilogy is, this franchise even, is at the end of the day Hiccup's coming of age. This is not overanalyzing or something. That's the point. That from the director's mouth, that's the point of this story. That's the theme of the franchise. And when you really think about it, not counting Baby Hiccup in How to Train a Dragon 2, the youngest we see of the guy is 15. And in a coming-of-age story, you are probably going to need one scene of this guy as a kid.
Wait, I see Hiccup as a baby in the 2nd movie.
I said that
excluding
aside.
that, yeah,
Oh, okay. I missed the aside.
Because
my bad.
first of all,
Continue
as a
on.
baby, you don't really have much. I mean, after
Well, to be
aside
fair-
from the life event that is your mother getting kidnapped, as a baby, there's probably no other. Wow, he learned to walk. He's coming of age.
Yeah.
Sure.
But so being a bit, and thinking about how by the age of 15, Hiccup had this reputation that he's not the most traditional Viking, and to the point that his father sees him as a bit of a disappointment. It is something that people probably, I'm sure there's a fan fiction about it somewhere, and probably fan arts and stuff before this scene was even confirmed, that probably went into what was it like with a young Hiccup and Stuek, what was their relationship before Hiccup became a teenager and before Toothless and everything. So in this kind of story, I just figured there will be a scene like this. It makes sense to me, even if it's not the focus of the movie. I at least figured it was going to be a scene.
Fair.
And so to the scene itself, apparently Stuik knows about the hidden world, and like it's a myth or something that people probably weren't sure if it's real or not. And actually thinking about
That's
this,
what a myth is.
mm-hmm.
An old mariner's tale.
Yeah.
An old
And
wives'
that
tale.
actually,
Now I'm telling it to you.
mm-hmm. And that's actually something I thought about. Do you think that at one point Stuik believed that the hidden world was the dragon nest? Like when Hiccup tells them that Toothless led them to the nest with the red dots and everything, if he thought this was the hidden world?
It's possible that he thought that. I mean, you can't really say he did or didn't, considering no one ever came out and said it. And Stoic's dead now, so he definitely can't. But it's possible that's what he might have thought. But I don't.
I'm trying to send as a bonus theory.
It's possible.
Reaching a bit, coming from the guy who loves to predict things.
There's nothing that you could say that contradicts it, but there's nothing you could say.
It's something to think about. Yeah, exactly. It's just something to think about because in the
unless the third movie goes out of
article,
its way to say no, he didn't think that he did think that Dragon Island and the Hidden World are two different places. In which case, then you're completely.
It's
because
I mean, it would be more of a. I think that's more of a headcanon than like at this point if you want to believe it, but that just is it's. How about this? It's not pertinent to the story, I feel.
Yeah.
So that's usually...
It's so small that it changes nothing whether it is or isn't.
That's usually how I feel about theories like that. It's like, it's annoying because like, how do you even think about that? Why? It doesn't matter. And I don't know why it annoys me so much, but it usually does. So I guess everybody's going to send me the little random crap and annoy me now.
You know, the reason I asked you guys this is because apparently Dean describes the hidden world as, in the old world, finding the hidden world could have been the means to end the war between humans and dragons. But in the new world, finding it may be the answer to preserving the peace between people and dragons. So that sentence kind of made me think, so if Stoic knows about this, and he thinks finding the nest would eventually scare the dragons away, maybe there's a connection. But again, that's just me speculating and thinking about stuff way too much. Wanted to share.
Fair.
Okay, so the second clip shown there, I think it was pretty much again the first dating for Menacey with Toothless and the Light Fury. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's not something that we really need to talk about again. Just that I want to see how it will turn out in the final film, and that's it. Anything you want to add?
No, I would agree with that.
By his silence, Rush agrees as well. Anyway, so let's move on to the scene Rush. Let's move on to the scene Rush is probably really excited about. Hiccup and Astrid talking about marriage.
No.
I'll let you lead.
Okay, well, for one, at least getting this scene was, it was something that I've been not waiting for, but it's something that's put like a lot of theories to rest. Are they just going to still be in a relationship? Are they going to be married? Are they going to have kid by the time the third movie comes out? This one at least put those to rest to saying they're in the goddamn it, why are you avoiding this so much stage. And so from what I understand, the Gobber brings it up and then they get too embarrassed to talk about it. And then even in recent more recent stuff, they're still like just too awkward to talk about it, pretty much. So I'm guessing that that kind of hints as to what the dynamic will be throughout the rest of the movie. But yeah.
Yeah, but it is something about this particular scene that I do like it because at the end of the day, you do know they kind of have to put it in there. Like there has to be something regarding these two because of it, for one, everybody wants it, and I think it's part of the criteria. It's an animated movie. You need to have this romantic subplot in there because it was in the previous two. But again, that's something that I do like, that they actually talk about them not necessarily wanting to get married, because in other animated films, they would either get married off camera between films or just by the end of it with and they won't dedicate any time to that. And that's actually a pretty realistic way to look at this, because not all couples rush off to marriage. Hell, some couples don't want to marry and they just continue to live as partners.
I feel
That's
attacked.
it. No, you don't have to feel attacked, because if you're attacked, I would really let you know before I will attack you. Now you're going to be afraid forever. But anyway, so yeah, I like this, that it's actually something they discuss and it's not just happening.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Like it's interesting to see them bring it up in the movie and kind of just and not just kind of fly by it, I guess you would say. It's interesting. I'll be interested to see how they do it and kind of where it goes specifically.
And also, it's not necessarily a big spoiler or anything, but Snotlout has a crush on Valka, confirmed? Question mark.
We'll
see.
Can't remember that part. I mean, I think I remember what you talked about. I don't know the context.
It's Astrid makes the joke that Snotlout only has eyes for Hiccup's mom, is what he's referencing, but we have no idea if that was actually, we have no idea if that's actually true or if that's just a joke in the movie.
Yeah.
That's why I said question mark. We're not sure.
We will see.
Anyway, now we come to this was the big scene shown, and this is where my eyebrow is raised. And this is the part. This is one of the clips that I'm like, there's a point here that I don't think I really want to know right now. And we saw in the trailer that there's a clip of Hiccup and Astrid finding the hidden world with Stonefly, and apparently once there, apparently Hiccup built Toothless and new Telfin, which allows him to fly on his own, and he lives with the Night Fury. And in the hidden world, he actually takes his place as Alpha alongside the Night Fury, and Hiccup is becoming a bit sad that his friend is being distant from him. Which this is one thing. Even though I knew going in this is probably going to happen and they're going to part ways and everything, this is something I want to experience firsthand, because we didn't really get this before. Not in the show, not in the graphic novels, not in any spin-off as far as I can remember. This is a new thing for Hiccup and Toothless. And I'm not sure I want to know about this through eventually people telling me that. But moreover, apparently there's Hiccup and Astrid's presence in the hidden world does cause a bit of a commotion, and Toothless has to save them. And apparently the clip ends with Toothless being pissed at Hiccup. Like, Toothless, the dragon that would stand by Hiccup no matter what, is annoyed at him. He's angry at him and like, why did you follow me here?
I mean, have you ever been cockblocked, 8C?
Well, that's not the point. That's not the point I'm making.
I think that is the point.
No, it's not the point. The point is, would you want this moment between two best friends, like probably the best bromance in animation history? Do you want someone to tell you this, or do you want to experience it for yourself and be completely surprised by it? Because now I'm going to see the movie, I know this is going to happen.
I mean, again, I come back to that idea of it's going to happen, but you don't know how it looks or the animation behind it or anything really. And I think that can still be a good selling point for the moment because looking at the animation and the facial work and all of that and just
Yeah.
kind of seeing the characters go through those expressions and that emotion can still be really enjoyable to watch, even though you might know
again, this doesn't ruin the movie completely. It's not something that I'm like, well, there's no reason to watch the film anymore because everything is ruined. I get what you mean and want to see how they'll handle that scene because obviously there's a movie scene and there's a movie scene with John Paul's music. There's a difference, I think. And so, obviously the animation and the expressions and how much time they're going to let that scene stew and stuff. But again, imagine seeing all of the animation and hearing the music and everything, and but you're surprised, but you're not seeing this coming. Now I'm going into this movie knowing that this moment is coming, and I would prefer not to. Again, movie is not ruined. I'm not mad that I know this. It's not, again, the movie is not spoiled forever or anything. But I would prefer this is something that could have stayed a secret until the film actually opens.
But see, this isn't okay. For one, this isn't a like adding that and they were annoyed part, or like Toothless is annoyed, that's something that's like not such a spoiler to the movie. For what, we know what's gonna happen, but like getting there is what's kind of the secret. So when you just have Toothless is annoyed, it's like, well, they do have to bring up some way to separate them, and it's like, well, obviously their relationship's getting worse or something like that. But again, on the animation part, like, you just say, Toothless was annoyed, right? Well, you don't see how it is. You get to, because DreamWorks has always done a great job of animating how Toothless expresses himself. So there could be a lot more to that they haven't said or even shown. It hasn't ruined the movie, but you're sure talking about it a lot, like it has. Just kidding.
I'm just saying this is one part that. Okay, you know what? Because you do say it, I get what you mean. Again, I get what you mean. But let me ask you this. Okay, let's take Avengers Infinity War. Okay, that's the first thing that comes to mind. Right. Let's say you're going into this movie knowing that there's going to be this big battle at Wakanda.
Right.
Okay? Oh, you know something? Yeah, okay, let's go with this. There's going to be this big battle in Wakanda with Black Panther, Captain America, Black Widow, all of these guys.
Okay, yes, that was in the trailer.
Exactly. Okay, so bad example. Let me think about something else.
Tell me, movie knowing Peter Parker's going to die.
No, that's a lot bigger than Toothless was annoyed at Hiccup.
That's a little spoiler. That's giving away the ending.
And that's also way bigger than Toothless being annoyed at Hiccup.
Nah.
Okay, you know what? Give me a movie that you.
Sorry, your mic cut out. What?
Give me a trailer to a movie you haven't seen the trailer.
God, I don't know. I haven't seen the trailer for. I don't know. I don't like.
I've not seen the trailer for Venom.
Okay, let's use Wolf for this because I actually saw Venom spoilers. Are you guys okay with?
Yes, I'm not going to see the movie.
Okay, and so basically, you haven't seen the trailer, and there's probably a moment you're really looking forward to, like, okay, not even that. Okay, I'll tell you that I'm telling you now that there's this great moment where Venom is fighting off all of these soldiers that threaten Eddie Brock's life, and like the symbiote gets on him and he kills all of them, just like a really good suspense movie in this really action-packed scene. So yeah, I'm telling you, there's this awesome action sequence where Venom is killing off dudes,
Right.
and like it doesn't have something really big to do with the movie and with the plot of the movie. I'm not telling you why it's there or where it's located and everything, but wouldn't it be awesome to just go into the movie blind and seeing this happening, especially if you are a fan of the character? Like, instead of just guy telling you, oh, this moment is going to happen, and then you see it and yeah, it looks cool. You don't know how it's going to look, but it takes away from it. It takes, again, small thing. I'm not saying this is
So
this is
H2,
like world changing.
one,
Yeah,
that wasn't in the trailer though. How about this? Sorry, rephrase that because I actually context here. Toothless getting annoyed at Hiccup wasn't in the trailer. You're using the trailer as example. We have been following the
actually, the scene I described is
World.
not in the trailer. The scene I discovered specifically is not in the trailer for
Then
that.
why did you ask if I've seen the trailer?
Okay, well, I didn't
I
think
think
I didn't
the
fully
point
think
here,
this.
right, the point here, right, is knowing something's going to happen and not knowing can make a difference, right, as to how
Exactly.
you perceive something happening, right? Like when you
Yeah.
know that when you know that Toothless is going to get upset with Hiccup for showing up in the hidden world, and you know that Hiccup is going to feel distraught at seeing Toothless kind of moving on without him so quickly. When you know that's going to happen, it can definitely affect how you perceive that scene because you know it's coming.
Yeah, but for one, okay,
Like
I'm
I
gonna
get
bring
where
back.
he's coming from.
Uh,
I don't necessarily agree, but I
yeah,
do get
but
where he's coming from.
my argument is one. We're gonna go back to Wolf's argument. You've only heard it through word of mouth. You haven't seen it yet. Two, it's such a minor scene that they decided to actually show at TIFF, and it's like not. I mean, it has a minor plot point, but it's again not a huge spoiler. Like Grimmel is Hiccup's third cousin twice removed. Um, so wow, I think essentially I'm saying get over it. I'm sorry. I just realized I just stopped
Again,
and
like
I'm
I
like,
said,
Anyway,
like I
no,
I
said, it's
will.
nothing big. It just an you call it a nitpick if you want, but it irks me a bit. That's
It's
it.
it's
You
it's
don't
a
have to.
nitpick. You know, it's fair. Like nitpicks
it
are
is.
fair.
You're right. When you put it like that, yeah. Although
I
I
will
think with
say though,
Wolf,
right? Like,
yeah, I
oh, go
don't.
ahead.
I agree with what you said earlier. Now that I think about it, like I don't necessarily agree, but I see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I will say though, right? Like looking at How to Train Your Dragon 2 and them spoiling Volka being Hiccup's mother, that wasn't a big reveal. I think the big reveal for the second movie was Stoic's death, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's worth noting, right, that this is definitely like a big moment for Hiccup and Toothless emotionally, sure. But I'll be interested, like if they're willing to spoil this scene, I'm curious as to what they might be holding back that also goes along with this, this theme of moving forward and kind of parting ways and whatnot. What other scenes might they have that they're holding back on that you haven't heard about and haven't seen? It is worth thinking about that as well because those scenes could still be potentially very impactful.
You know what the ironic thing will be? If we get a trailer and this scene is going to be in the trailer, I'm going to murder someone. Like if you talk about this entire thing, imagine if this wasn't in the trailer. Imagine if this was in the trailer. I think it's a bit off to hear it now, and then all of a sudden it's in the trailer.
HC's
Oh
Book
boy.
of Grudges. Whoever did second trailer for Hidden World, top of list.
You're
Well,
on
maybe
my
number
list.
maybe not maybe number 5, but I don't know. Depending on how they turn out, the number one spot on that list will probably be some movie executive, but we'll have to wait and see when the movie I'm referring to comes out. I'm not going to say what it is, but people who know me might know. Anyway, anything else you want to say about the TIFF?
I'm guessing he's talking about the Sonic movie, ladies and gentlemen, if you're curious.
Actually, no.
Don't
Or the
worry,
other
I'll
Spider-Man
edit the
movie.
episode so we're done now, so the viewers don't have to sit through this.
Okay, I'm not going to say what it is. I'll just say both of your guesses are wrong.
Okay, then.
Anyway, anything else you guys want to say about the TIFF clips or what? Or if there's spoilery enough for you, or if not, what will be spoilery for you? Anything to close?
No, I mean, like I think we've kind of gone over it all fairly well at this point. You know, we could talk a little bit about maybe the revelation of the armor and the designs of that, but we kind of already seen all that already as well.
Yeah,
so.
we talked about it, and we talked about it before, so there's really no point.
I will say I liked the thing on Hiccup's armor where it's made from toothless scales, but they don't say whether it sheds scales or not. So I saw a lot of people like, did they steal scales from Toothless? Did Hiccup do that? And then they come out with Astrid's potion. It's like made from shed scales. Like, glad they clarified that. But what about Toothless's and Hiccup's armor? Did Hiccup steal scales from Toothless still yet? I'm going to go
Let's
believing
just
that
put it
Hiccup
this way: Toothless wasn't the only Night Fury until post How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Fair.
Well,
I like that idea.
That's some cool armor, Hiccup. Where'd you get it? Toothless shed some scales, right, bud? Toothless, I don't remember this.
and then you cut to Toothless and you.
He just like looks at Hiccup like, what? Tilted head look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean? But I like the idea though that Toothless is sleeping and Hiccup just goes up with a pair of tweezers and just pulls scales off of him while he's sleeping one at a time, quietly. And he's just been collecting them for years, just slowly doing this every night.
Toothless has like a bald spot, and Hiccup's like, "Wow, bud, you must have a rash. We got to put you in the cone, so he doesn't bite at himself."
What the hell?
Oh, you know those rashes.
Actually, you know something. Do you think? I think we're looking at this all wrong. Maybe it's not Hiccup. It's not Hiccup. It's Valka. I mean, think about this. They're in the same home. Who knows the dragons better than Valka on Berk at this point? I think something about this has to do with her. Like she gifted
Valka
Hiccup
stole the scales.
So she murdered the second to last Night Fury.
No, that's Grimmel apparently.
So Valka went to Grimmel and got the scales from him, and then gave him the Hiccup.
Like I said, Grimmel confirmed. That's the big spoiler from this movie.
So we use the second cousin thrice removed.
No, that's. I was actually really glad to discuss this with you, but I don't think I'm in the position to do that.
Grimmel is Hiccup's long lost brother.
For some reason, my head just auto-corrected that to long lost lover.
Wow!
It was
here's the
alliteration.
Here's your fan fiction idea, folks. Go nuts. Go freaking nuts. Hiccup X Grimmel. Hickmel. Yeah, let's go with that.
I've been waiting for you, Grimmel, for so long.
Grickup.
Grimmel. You know something? My mind expected it to break up. So you know what? Here's the fate of that ship. But anyway, just a funny thing to close this on, I guess. Very recently, they finally dubbed the first trailer for this movie over here, and one translation was so terrible. Like when we see Grimmel and he says, "I've hunted every Night Fury except yours." For some reason, they dubbed it as, "I've hunted down every dragon except yours." That's all I have to say. It's like, so you've been doing a pretty terrible job considering the fact that Berk is the Viking dragon utopia. Who missed this? Who did this? I can probably actually reach that person. I need to sit down with them and have a bit of a talk. So yeah, anything else to add after this, or are we done?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah, so
I think we've about covered everything we can cover at this point.
Yeah, so after covering all the footage, nitpicking and not nitpicking, confirming that some translators should be fired, and creating a new ship, I think that's all for this episode of the Berkcast. We hope you enjoyed it. What do you think about the TIFF clips, and do you think they're spoilery enough or not, or if they're showing a lot from the movie? And they should probably stop at this point. Whatever your thoughts are, you can tell us all about this in the comment section below. On Tumblr, where we are known as Berkcast Team. On Twitter, we are Berkcast with a capital B, capital C. And you can find all of us on the How to Train a Dragon Valhalla Discord server. So until next time, I was HC.
I was Rush.
And I've been Wolf. And as a last final thing, should we mention the plan that we had for episode 100 or no?
Not yet. Not yet.
This is 95.
Yeah, this is episode 95, but not yet, because I have something to discuss with you regarding this. But we'll let you know about episode 100 soon enough.
Whatever could it be, ladies and gentlemen.
So until next time, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.